Torah in 2 minutes-ish. It's been an eventful week, in many ways difficult. I spent much of the week thinking about the violence in and around the Gaza border and the tragic loss of life there and the tragic standoff between the need of one people to defend themselves and the need of another people to find a way to establish themselves in peacefully in a homeland. I thought of it in terms of this week's Torah portion in Bamidbar. We begin this week the book of Numbers, where the people wander around in the wilderness, in Hebrew Bamidbar, and at the beginning of the book they think they're going to get to the promised land shortly, and they rebel, and they rebel, and they rebel, and God eventually decrees that the generation that left Egypt won't get into the promised land. Their children were, or as Viva Gottlieb Zornberg eloquently puts it. In one traumatic moment, the divine decree goes forth. This interval will encompass the life and death of a whole generation. Those who left Egypt will sink into the sands of this wilderness. Only their children will see the land, meaning that those who were so traumatized by their history as slaves that they didn't know how to live in God's presence will slip into the sands. They'll die peacefully, but they won't make it to the promised land. Their children, though, those who aren't traumatized by that history, at least not the same way, they will make it to the promised land and build lives there. And maybe there's something there. Maybe not every moment in history will be as peaceful as we want it to be. Maybe we have to have our eyes on the fact that sometimes there's a long interval of wandering in the wilderness, but God remains with the people through that wandering. And the people never lose hope that they will eventually make it, even those who know that only their children will make it. We should maintain that idea, that though we may be in the wilderness, that there's a promised land we're journeying to, and even if it takes more than one generation to get there, we should never stop trying to get there. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach.